Hi, these pictures are of the Appalachian Mountains, the Smoky Mountains of East Tennessee. It's not the specific area where Summer grew up, but it is the general vicinity of East Tennessee where we're all located. I thought they were beautiful. It's pictures I took back in 2016 while hiking the 100-mile hike, the challenge that the Smoky Mountains had going. I believe it's a beautiful and wondrous place, and I just wanted to share the beauty with everybody on my channel, and I hope you enjoy. So, here we go. I have just a few things to say, and it's going to be towards Dawn and Candace and Grandis. Yeah, I know she doesn't like being called Grandis, but, you know, who cares what she likes? I'm sure Dawn and Candace don't like their opinions that other people have towards them either. Now, this is just my opinion, my feelings, my thoughts on the subject. And I'm not going to accuse them of doing anything to their daughter except possibly doing away with the body. Nobody really knows. Nobody was there. Well, what I want to address is what happened up to that point. How did they act up to that point? Where was the love for their children? How did they take care of their kids? Obviously, they didn't. And that's the point I want to get across. They call themselves loving parents. Come on, let's go back 20 years. Back when it's alleged that Don sold his children or traded his first two children for drugs, and that their mother had to go and get them back. He almost allowed his sister to adopt his daughter way back then. Then as his son grew up, he repeated the past history that Don himself has done. He wound up getting a 14-year-old girl pregnant. And he was, 18, 19 years old? You know, come on, that's not some of the best parenting. Skip forward to now. Don, you were supposed to be a family provider. You're supposed to be working every day. You make decent money for East Tennessee, but yet, look at your house. Look at the outside of your house. Not a very clean spot. Not a safe spot for your children. You've allowed your boys to ride around on bikes, motorbikes. You've allowed Summer to play barefoot on the tin and the aluminum siding that was laying out there, nails, screws, boards, abandoned vehicles. Oh, wait, let's talk about the refrigerator. Years and years ago, they did a campaign on TV about refrigerators and how you should either take the doors off or tie them shut, fasten them shut somehow or another, because so many children were getting locked inside of refrigerators from playing in them and suffocating to death. I mean, come on, I'm not that much younger than you. I remember those campaigns. I'm sure you do too. How could you take and allow your 5-year-old daughter to play in a refrigerator and think it's funny and just talk about it like there's nothing to it? I mean, were you hoping that she would get stuck in there and suffocate? Maybe that's why you kept saying that you knew something was going to happen with your daughter. Something was going to happen to her. Maybe that's why you kept saying that Candace needed to keep an extra eye on her. Well, we're pointing at you right now, Dawn. You should have been the one to haul all that junk off from your house. You should have made sure that the outside of the house was safe. You should have made sure that that staircase was safer than what it was. You were the one making the money. You were the one that had the ability to work on the inside and the outside of the house. It was your responsibility as the father, as the man of the house, to take care of these details. Did you? I think not. And you can't tell me that you lived up there for 12 years now and you had no clue where that dog trail was? Or that... And dogs don't just wander off. I'm sorry. You're trying to say that the dogs just disappeared the day that Summer got gone. How do you know? You weren't even there. You don't know if the dogs were there or not. You know they weren't there supposedly when you got home. But then again, I guess we could just ask the sheriff's department if the dogs were actually there when they got there. They could tell us. They could tell us the truth about that. You're supposed to be such a loving father, and you care only about your children and their well-being. How can you sit around and do drugs and drink and fight and carry on and say that your children's well-being is the first thing that you think about of a morning at night? Come on, let's get into the fact that you put that baby in the bed with you every night. Whether Candace was in the bed with you or not, that baby was always in the bed beside you. I understand a father's love, especially a father's love for his daughter. But still, after a child gets so old, you do not put them in the bed with the parents, especially just a little girl and the father. That's just not appropriate. It's not morally right. It's not right at all. And the showering? How disgusting can you possibly be? You were taking a shower with your 5-year-old daughter. I don't care what anybody says. That is wrong. I mean, well, come on, let's go back a few years. You know, it was wrong what you were doing to your sisters. And you yourself admitted to what you done. You keep saying that you take your kids to church. You're trying to raise them up right. How can you be saying that you're trying to raise your children up correctly or right or by God's law when you're drinking and doing drugs every night right there in front of them, or when you're allowing your wife to do those things? That's not raising your children up in church. That's not raising your children up the way God wants them raised. And God specifically doesn't want you taking a shower with your 5-year-old daughter. I'm sorry, that really just gets me. That really, really irritates me. There's no way that you people can say that your children were your number one concern. My biggest question is why? Just why? Your job as a parent is to look after, protect, love, feed, bathe, support your children. You've done none of those things, Dawn. Why? You love your children so much, but yet you did nothing up to the point where Summer disappeared. I'm not talking about whether you did something to her or whether you didn't. I don't know. I do know from your own words, from the look of your house, you did not take care of your children. You did not love them enough to make sure they were took care of properly. Look at the mattress that you supposedly had that baby sleeping on in her bedroom. I mean, it was black. You couldn't even put a clean mattress on the floor. It being on the floor, right there. You supposedly a carpenter or a handyman or what the hell ever. You couldn't have built a frame to put that mattress on. You couldn't have went and got a clean mattress. They give them away every day at different places. They sell them cheap at thrift stores. With the money you made, you could have went and bought one. Hell, they sell air mattresses at Walmart every day. You couldn't have at least went and got a clean set of sheets and put on that baby's bed? She had no covers. How can you say that you are a good, loving parent, a good, loving, providing father? I want to know why. Why did you not put the extra effort forward to take care of these children, to protect them, to do right by them? I'm not talking about all these other things, all these accusations that other people are throwing at you. Like I've said, I don't know how many times, I do not know. I wasn't there. I don't know what happened to that baby. I do know that God gave you this gift. That sweet little angel. She was innocent. She was there, given to you by God, one of his most precious gifts. All of them were, actually. But they were given to you to protect and love. And you couldn't even do that. You could not take the time or the energy to put the extra effort forward to make sure these children were fed and bathed and had clean clothes and were took care of and protected. You couldn't do that. And I want to know why. Why did they not mean any more to you than that? I've got questions for Grandis and Candace too. And I may get into them a little bit later. I've held all this in for 6 months now. And I wanted to do this channel. I actually wanted to speak to you directly. I'm a mother. I'm a grandmother. And I know for a fact that when your first child is born, what you want, what you think, what you feel is no longer of high importance in your life. When your child is born, that is the greatest gift that God can give you. And that child's well-being comes first and foremost, above and beyond anything else. And you failed those kids. You failed Summer. You're not a loving father. You're not a providing father. And you are definitely not a godly father. Until next time.